Hey guys, welcome back to I'm Just a Fan. It's your host Ben, and today we're going to be recapping two different trades today that just, for me, some kind of came out of nowhere, some didn't. Just depends on how you were looking at it. But let's get right into it. First trade we have was Davante Adams getting traded to the New York Jets. This was something that the media has kind of been all over. This is something you can arguably say fans have been expecting since all of last year, or at least the end of last year. And the main factors for that was obviously Rodgers was hurt last year, so it was never really something that needed to be facilitated. Number two, after you saw that Vegas just was not a competent team last year, there started to be rumblings this offseason about them potentially trying to, consider trading Davante Adams. And then there was the whole segment this year where Antonio Pierce likes a photo saying that he wanted to be traded or something like that, which was, in my opinion, really weird behavior. And then there's that story that came out saying that Adams went to talk to Pierce. Apparently, it was, supposed to be a situation where he was just trying to talk to him or something like that. I think it was maybe injury related. I'm not sure. And then pretty much blindsided him and was like, hey, I want to get traded. So I'm glad this deal was done. Let's just go over the compensation, how this impacts both teams going forward. So as for the compensation, the Raiders will receive a conditional third-round pick and can become which can become a second-round pick based on the performance, according to ESPN. The pick becomes a second if either the following happens: Adam makes a first or second All-Pro, or he's an active roster for the AFC Champion or the Super Bowl. So realistically, no disrespect to Adams, I don't see his ass doing any of that shit. I think it's probably going to stay a third for the Raiders in compensation. Now, when we look at both angles of the trade, I would say, for me, obviously the Raiders lost the trade, not in a way that was necessarily saying it was, like the biggest L ever, but it was more for the fact that their original asking price was a second round pick, which they didn't even get a guaranteed second round pick. And of course, the saga with Adams just didn't work. You bring Adams in just to get rid of Carr the next season after he comes in. That was the whole reason he even was there to really begin with. So that just didn't work out. Financially, this is how this is going to work. So New York will pick up the remaining $11.59 million on Adams' deal. This season, Adam has a base salary of $16.69 million and $333,000 in roster bonuses. So New York will assume roughly 66% of that remaining money. The Raiders will also now have a $15.7 million dead cap hit instead of a $44.1 million salary cap charge for him next season. So it's good for Vegas that they get him off the books. In my opinion, you have to go full rebuild. I don't really honestly know why they held on to him this long. I thought you could have traded him even earlier. But, excuse me. That's what the Raiders do. It's a terrible organization. It's never been a good organization in my lifetime. I've seen them maybe be good once or twice. So, it's expected out of an organization like that. But for the Jets, I was originally a little against the trade, strictly just because, you don't want to give up too much compensation going forward. Because what if Rodgers retires this year? What if it doesn't work out, et cetera, et cetera? But really, in the long term of things, you have to obviously go all out for Adams, which I also was in the same camp with. I just was like, do you want to give up a ton of compensation for him? But the fact that it is realistically probably going to be a third round pick, I don't hate the deal. I don't hate it. You get Rodgers another weapon. Do I know if this turns the Jets season around? I can't say it does. I mean, the Jets are 2-4. You're going against some opponents where you can win the game, but in my opinion, last night's game was pretty winnable, in my opinion. You just didn't get it done. Excuse me. The biggest problem with the Jets for me right now, obviously, other than the complete and utter disorganization of that organization, and just how kind of all over the place they are and how they're pretty much just submitting to Rodgers, is just the fact that I just can't trust that offensive line, specifically when it comes to pass blocking. You watch a Jets game, you're going to see Rodgers get hit minimum 5, 6, 7 times. He's going to be getting up. He's going to be getting up slow. I don't know how long a 40-year-old man can really take a beating like that. So That's something to just consider. But do I think this makes the Jets better? Yes, I think it does. There's no need to punt on this season. It's just an interesting deal. I think this helps the Jets out. But again, they're already 2-4. Yes, they're in a weak division, but realistically, if you don't win this division, I don't know if you get in the AFC playoffs. So we got to see. But I'm glad the deal at least happened. Rodgers and Adams are reunited. This pair should have never broken up, to be honest. It was a tragedy, it did, but I'm glad they will be on the field at the same time again. So now getting into the second deal, this was the deal that caught me off guard. They've talked about this for a while in trade talks, but I just didn't see this team trading for him. The Bills land wide receiver Amari Cooper in trade with the Browns. So the Bills received Cooper and a 2025 6th-round draft pick for a 2025 third-round pick and a 7th-round pick in 2026. So when we look at this, for me personally, I think this is a huge spot for for Buffalo. For me personally, with Buffalo, you had to make a move. I was in the camp that was like, I think they're going to be fine without Diggs and Davis. Maybe I got a little too, excited about that. It was looking good those first 3 weeks, but then all of a sudden, bam, they just have not looked as good offensively, and it's been a clear, problem that they haven't had that receiver that's really going to be that guy, especially with Shakir being out. Excuse me for yawning. I'm so sorry. Coleman's kind of disappointed a little bit, just hasn't really been able to be as much of an impact for you. So you had to go out and make a move. You got Cooper. You didn't really give up a lot, in my opinion. I mean, you gave up a 3rd-round pick and a 7th-round pick for Amari Cooper. Like, you're obviously getting better. So obviously, in my opinion, the Bills won this trade. Cleveland, you lost the trade because he just never developed good chemistry with Deshaun Watson. Also, it's just this whole situation with Deshaun Watson. How can really anything be a win right now? It's just hard to really feel good about that team going forward. But I would say the Bills definitely at least improve, especially now after beating the Jets last night. They're in clear, what's the word? They are in the driver's seat for the AFC East. So, again, a lot to consider there just with these trades. Like I said, it was a busy day for the NFL trade-wise. Not sure exactly why, but just both of them happened today. Also, just some information I thought that's not related to this video at all. Don't know why I'm talking about, but I just think it's interesting. I'm gonna make it quick. Russell Wilson is starting he's getting first team reps in practice. That is huge for the Steelers. Just curious to see how that goes. Obviously, Justin Fields' play has declined a little bit the last couple of weeks, and the Steelers have kind of been winning despite him these last couple of weeks. So just something to keep an eye on this weekend. They will actually end up playing the New York Jets. So that should be a winnable game for Pittsburgh, especially because it's at home, but you never know. So just something to look at. But regardless, very interesting trades. If you enjoy this video, feel free to give it a like. If you have any thoughts on the trades, leave them down below. And if you like this type of content or sports content in general, feel free to subscribe to this channel. I will be uploading pretty consistently about MLB, NFL, NBA, soccer or football. It just depends on whatever you call it. Even a little bit of college football here and there. So be on the lookout for all of that. And I appreciate you watching if you have been to this point. Thank you so much, and I will see you on the next one.